This was written in 1998. She said, I dreamt I found a lump about the size of a golf ball, and I could feel it. And I told Jim to remarry, and he said he would never be able to replace me. He asked me how he would ever know if he found the right one. And I said, you will know just like you knew with me.
He wanted to serve. That was his dream, and he really wanted to fly. That was his passion. And so soon after we got married, he went into the Air Force. He deployed September 3rd of 2006, and then November 27th came. I got this strange knock at the door early, and so I went and answered it, and when I opened it, I saw the blue uniforms, and I knew by looking at their faces that my world was just about to change forever.
About 2003, Andrea went in for her checkup. She had felt a lump in her left breast. She went in and had her scans done, and they came back with cancer in her bones, her liver, and her lungs, and it was terminal. Her words were, if one person will come to Christ through her dying, that she said, I'm willing to do this for the Lord. And she did it. But I remember telling Andrea, I said, I want to stand up in church and give a testimony that he's not answering our prayer, and he's still God. And I believe that's the message Ginger got that day when I wrote that email.
So I was up late one night, a couple of months after Troy died, and I found an email. It was a forward of a forward from a friend, and it was about this couple, and the wife apparently had cancer. They had heard of Troy's story and had actually prayed for me, and so that began a year of emails back and forth between me and this nice couple named Jim and Andrea.
Ginger had heard when Andrea had passed. I had obviously sent out an email, and she had gotten that. And she had written me, and she said, I'm going to be going to Dallas to see my best friend. And I said, well, I'm on my way to Dallas right now.
I said, well, we can meet, at a Dairy Queen somewhere and cry over some ice cream.
And we got out of the car and just looked at each other. I remember thinking I felt like I felt when I saw Andrea the first time, and it scared me. And it was crazy. Here I am marrying a woman with twin 2-year-olds, 3-year-old, 6-year-old, and a 9-year-old, and it was the right thing. When I look at Faith and with Andrea, I wouldn't trade what we went through, because we were able to grow spiritually in ways that were not possible without a trial. And I think that's what Troy and Andrea were. They were so different in the way they lived their lives and the way they handled suffering that it speaks to people. That's the person I became when I met Ginger. And I knew in my heart that she was the one I was to marry, and that these 5 kids needed a dad, and I needed them.
It was a miracle. You always say that what we have was twice in a lifetime, and it was, because I'm thankful to have been loved and the kids be loved like we were once, much less twice.
If we do a good job, they'll tell their children stories of Troy and Andrea, because there's great lessons of faith, service, selflessness. All those characteristics that they had and they expressed in their life are passed on through these 7 children and on to their children's children.